to go ahead and get our sauce ready. These days, these boobs are for feeding babies and cleaning off can tops. So, pardon me, but it gets the job done. If you don't use your boobs to clean off your can tops before you open it, I highly suggest it. It's really quite perfect. So, go ahead. I love my electric can opener. Can openers don't seem to last very long in my household. I find one I like, and 3 meals later, it doesn't seem to do the job anymore. So, don't forget to clean them cans. Here we go. So the first one that went in was the Hunt's tomato and basil. This one is the Italian sausage. Stuff it on in there. And then we'll go with the traditional. Whoop. There we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Thank you, Hunts. Alright, now also in this, we're going to put our Italian diced tomatoes, already canned. Now I like to strain mine. Whoops. Go over here to the strainer. Pour that one in. We'll pour our second can in. Shake that around a little bit. Because you don't want it too soupy. You know, if you left the juices in, it would just end up being a little soupy. And I like my lasagna not soupy. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 packs of our thick and zesty spaghetti sauce mix by McCormick. Okay. And we'll put that on low heat. Let's get back to the meat. It looks great. It smells great. It looks great. So, we're going to go ahead and shut that off. And grab our pot holder. Now I have my strainer ready, and under my strainer is just another pot. That way my liquid is not going down the drain, because that adds a whole nother problem in life. You do not want to put your oil down the drain. Go ahead and get the meat scraped off. Pan, dump it in there, and just let it sit for a little bit. Now, your pan's still hot. We may or may not use these later. Your pan is still hot. So while your pan's still hot, go ahead and put it back on the same burner that it was on. Drop your heat down to medium. Now we're going to take our plate of vegetables. I've got half chopped white onion. I have 2 bell peppers. I used a yellow one and an orange one. I've got our half a small can of black olives and about 6 to 8 mushrooms, thank you, diced fine. I use the stem, the whole thing. Wash them off, those little specks that come, that's not seasoning, that's still dirt. So you just wash them mushrooms up and chop them up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add this to our frying pan that still has a little bit of grease from our meat mixture. So here we go with that. I like to put my onions in first. I love the sound of that sizzle. But really it all goes in, so If you're not holding a baby, then you can probably do this much easier. But since I've got this baby attached to my hip, we're going to work with what we got. Get all of that in there. Hands rinsed. We'll get in here and we'll get a little bit of salt and pepper. Just put your pepper in there. And that, you know what, just do it until your heart tells you not to. There's no real measuring in the kitchen. I like the kosher sea salt. Put a little salt in there. And get to flipping that. Now, while that's going, we're going to get our trusty ladle here, and we're going to mix up this tomato sauce and the diced tomatoes and the McCormick season. We'll just get all of that mixed in there nicely. We'll go over here and get our meat mixture. This has the garlic, the ground beef, and the hot and spicy pork. We'll dump that into our sauce and stir this in. Ooh, and those vegetables smell so nice. Yes, it smells like we are doing something fantastic in here. Huh? Yeah, me. Yeah, me. We'll turn that. Baby approved. Alright. Let's go ahead. I've got it on medium right now with our vegetables. We're going to go ahead and put that on medium high. And we're going to get our trusty garlic because you can't have enough garlic. We'll get a spoon. And we got us a nice big spoonful. And we're going to add that to our vegetables. Okay. Baby. Let's see if we can get it. Do you like that? All right. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, we're going to put some green onion. You don't want to put the green onion in when you first put everything else in because it just kind of takes the flavor. You want that extra ingredient that doesn't necessarily blend in but stands out on its own. So we'll go ahead and put this in. Again, we're sauteing this and we're putting it in the oven. It will cook down. So go ahead and get that mixed up. Oh, it all smells so delicious. All right. Well, that's going. Let's talk about the dish. I like a deep dish. And even though I have the deep dish, I overflow the dish every time. Every time. It makes a big mess. It's horrible. I don't like cleaning the oven. It's a problem for days, weeks sometimes. So, remedy that. Put your cookie sheet underneath your deep dish. So, now you're not going to have anything leaking out. You're not going to have any problems. Bring our sauce right over here. While I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and tend to my vegetables a little bit, because they are almost ready. Also, while I'm over here, make sure I don't already have something in the oven, because sometimes I keep skillets in there. We're going to turn our oven to 350. Maybe we'll get a little, go with 360. How about that? And now we're going to start the layering process. So, you want a little bit of sauce in the bottom of your pan so that your oven bake ready pasta noodles really have the time to cook and nothing sticking to the bottom. So, go ahead and get that going. Now, I have 2 boxes here that I have already made some lasagna in the past, but it normally takes about 2 boxes. So, we'll start the layering process here. Alright, so we got that down. Our vegetables are doing great. We're going to go ahead and turn those off. Pardon me. And we're just going to bring them on over and add them to the mix. This is hot. Bad idea. Oh, found my trusty towel. Okay. And whew, this kitchen's looking messy like a man been in it. All right. So here we go. So we've got this, our first layer down. We'll add our sauce. Now you build this up, so I like to do thicker at the bottom and gets a little thinner, but you still need a little bit of consistency, so you're going to have to find what the fine line in that is for you. So put your sauce down. Now go ahead and spread your vegetable mixture in there. Okay, don't forget the corners, because the corners are the best part. Now, for the cheese. Go ahead and get you some cheese in there. And I just kind of crumple it around. There's no clean way to do this properly. You're gonna get dirty. It's gonna be okay. I like a lot of cheese. And again, that bottom layer is gonna be your thicker layer. Alright. So, got that going. Now we're gonna add some more noodles. Just layer our noodles like this. If it's not going to fit the way you need it to, break them noodles up. It will be okay. It's all going to cook nicely. Alright, so you got the noodles. Now the pasta sauce. Go ahead and get that in there. Whoops. Okay. And now your vegetables, sauteed vegetables. And go in. Okay. And now the cheese. Just go ahead and sprinkle that in. You can grate blocks of mozzarella or any kind of cheese you want, really, but I highly recommend that you do not leave out the ricotta. It is just not the same without the ricotta. Keep your cheese going. Nice and thick with cheese. So this is going to spread out and just make it so delicious. Okay, now we'll add some more pasta here. Okay. And more sauce. There we go. Spread that on nice and even. Now this pasta sauce is really what's going to cook these noodles, so it's pretty important to make sure that your sauce is the layer that goes on top of the noodle. Okay, I think we can do one more row here. So, let's get this final layer going. Alright, do away with that. Sauce. Now sometimes with your oven ready noodles, the tops don't cook as well as the bottoms. Now, however, as leftovers the next day, they're perfect. So if this happens to you, it's okay. Do not be alarmed. You can always make it the night before if you have that luxury. But if you put enough sauce on it, on the top layer, it's going to be great. Okay, use the rest of our, now this one is the one that you're going to see. However, we are going to cover it with cheese, but I like it to be kind of pretty. Alright. Away with that. More cheese. Now it seems like I'm thinking now that we are going to open that second bag. We won't use the whole bag, but we are going to use that second bag of Italian mixed cheese to put right on top of this to really give it that lasagna look. Because when I think of lasagna, I think of something that has a kind of a cheesy crust, if you will. All right. Now we have plenty of ricotta cheese mix or cheese mixture left over, and that is wonderful if you make some steamed broccoli and put it over it with some pasta, or go ahead and make that cheese ball we were talking about earlier. It is really quite perfect. I'm going to do a quick rinse of the hands. Since this time I have a towel, I'll use it. And we'll grab our second bag of Italian cheese. Give that a little open. And don't be cheap with the cheese. Let the cheese spread. This is the beautiful part. This is the thing that you will ooh and ah about, and everyone at your table will ooh and ah over this portion, of course, until they taste it. And then it will be the best one. Oh yes, they'll tell you, oh, this is better than my mama's. Don't tell your mama. Okay, now for the top of mine, you guessed it, I like a little bit of green onion. Okay, so we'll slice that green onion up. Just like so, using our handy dandy kitchen scissors. And you do want to kind of clean up, if you're messy like I am, you want to clean up your edges a little bit. This is going to boil over. Get the extra cheese out of the cookie sheet that your dish is sitting on, because you do not want the smell of burnt baking cheese in your oven. That's not the smell we're going for today. So take a look at that before we pop that in the oven. Now we've got our oven, once again, we've got our oven set at about 360. I'll cover this with tin foil. Do not poke holes in the tin foil. Go ahead and cover that with tin foil. And now this bad boy is ready to go into the oven. In about 45 minutes, go ahead and pull it out of the oven. You'll take the tin foil off, replace a little cheese, because some cheese is going to come off on your tin foil. Put some more cheese on it. Put it back in the oven with the oven off, just so that gets that nice melt to it. And let it sit there just until the cheese melts, 2 or 3 minutes. It won't take long. Put it on your stove and let it rest. 10-20 minutes would be perfect, and that really lets it thicken up and set. So we will see you in about 45 to 55 minutes with a beautiful plate of lasagna. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much.